Steve, how are you after that? Preparation's done, more or less.
Thankfully.
How are you feeling? Is everyone okay in there?
Yeah, good. Day off tomorrow and then ready to go.
What about that as an exercise? I mean, what were you looking for? Merely getting minutes in the tank for some of the players and coming through unscathed?
We're looking to win, obviously. It's a really difficult one because the players are human and they're all thinking about what's going to happen next week. You've still got to play a game. I thought we were really good until we started to make the changes. We had a great control of the game. Changes come because I'm looking at minutes that people played on Monday night against Gibraltar, and I'm trying just to manage the minutes. I'm trying to get people on the pitch that might need a few minutes, so it becomes a little bit disjointed towards the end. But that's not a reflection on the boys that go on the pitch. That's just because you make so many changes and the game sort of drifted towards the end. And we lost two pretty poor goals. I'm not quite sure on the penalty decision, but
we were just talking about that.
Wasn't a penalty?
Yeah.
Where were you supposed to go?
I think he's got to go for it. He gets a little touch in the ball and the referee decides to give them a penalty. But listen, that's not so important. The most important thing is we had a decent exercise. I thought some of the play was good, and bring on next week.
Is there anything that's happened in those two games, or particularly tonight, that's changed your thinking?
Not particularly. I've always had an idea in my mind how I want to approach the tournament, how we want to play in the tournament. We've been working quite a lot on ourselves, on what we do over the course of these two games. Obviously, you go into the tournament, and then you start to concentrate on little bits of the opposition and how we're going to shape up for that, and hopefully we can prepare very well for all three games.
Yeah, you feel like you could see it, especially in the first half. You know how KT and Rob are going to link up and dovetail each other, but the switch of play was on as well. Ralston, I thought, had a really solid game down there to give you that kind of out ball if you want, and he was really getting involved.
That was good. Tony did well. All the boys that came in, Ross did well on Monday night as well, so it's nice to see them doing that. I bring Tommy and Lewis off the bench, and they both look good. They were decent. Mind you, Tommy should have scored with that header.
Look quick.
You think, big man?
If that was me, you'd be fuming. I would have scored though.
There was a few. You were licking your lips out.
I was up there first half of that.
No, we got some. Listen, we got some good quality ball in the box from both sides of the pitch, which is good because that's something that we do work on. We try to put the opposition under pressure. So a lot of good moments. I quite like quite a lot of the time, and the crowd are probably looking and thinking it's a little bit boring when we sat in that mid block and just worked a little bit across the line and let Finland have the ball, but they weren't hurting us. It's just a little thing that we have to think about maybe in the tournament. We don't always have the ball, and it's how we defend when we don't have the ball.
Are you excited about next week? Can you now start to get excited about it now that this part of the preparation's out the way?
I've been excited since we qualified. I just never show it.
I didn't want to say that, Steve.
He does show it sometimes.
That was one of my questions. In the back, does he show it?
Yeah,
to be fair, he didn't give much away.
It depends if he likes you or not.
I like all my players, Lyndon, you know that.
But we talk to the players all the time though about how are they feeling about taking the country to a major tournament. I mean, how are you feeling about managing at a major tournament again?
That's going to be great. I like the again word because we want to do it again. We don't want to stop on this one. We want to go forward and keep qualifying for major tournaments. That's all you can do. Great group of players. And as I said in the media the other day, I'm not sure why people want to be so negative about a couple of friendly matches, which are basically training matches for the tournament. Let's look forward to the tournament and go there with a little bit of swagger and see what we can do.
Yeah, I mean, the nation expects, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think the expectation was through the roof 6 months ago. You look to the game in Seville where it just felt like we could do no wrong. Of course, there's been a few results against big opposition, which...
yeah, but that's my fault, because I chose those games and I made those difficult games, and I'm saying
that's how you get better.
When we go to that tournament, we now know when we play against the top sides how good we have to be to get a result, and they know that now.
But you say it's your fault. I mean, I don't think you could say there's a fault.
I don't mean fault.
It was your decision.
It's my decision to do that.
We played against some top opposition. Okay, there's a bit of momentum that's gone out of things, but hopefully that's no bad thing because it was through the roof. We're going into that game against Spain. We go 1-0 up with Scott McTominay's free kick that gets disallowed, and from there there's been wee moments that have not perhaps gone our way. If we go into the games in Germany and we get the little bit of luck that you need in these things, we all know the expectation and the hope is there. We've got a team that are capable of competing against top opponents. I've got no doubt about that. I just hope that it just falls our way.
And as you
Michael,
said,
that's what we think as well, and that's the feeling within the dressing room. We're going to go there, we're going to be as competitive as we can be. If we play as well as we can, we believe the results will come.
you've got to make, well, an announcement certainly in the next few hours, the squad announcement. Have you had a conversation with those players who won't be on the plane yet?
Yeah, I have. Two really difficult conversations, as you can imagine, really difficult. We did it yesterday to give them time to clear their heads a little bit. Obviously, did it yesterday. Craig's out, John Souttar's out. Horrible decisions to have to make, horrible emotional conversations with both players. Now it's time to focus on the ones that we have picked. Obviously, people like Lyndon as well, obviously very emotional, losing Ben Doak. I've got to be honest, it's been quite horrible since Lyndon's injury.
Yeah.
It's been a horrible week, just coming. So from my own personal point of view, I'm quite glad that I've got a day off tomorrow and then come in Sunday and ready to go for the tournament.
Lyndon was still wanting an extra space. He thinks he can make it for one of these games. He was named 25.
That's why Lyndon.
That's what you got the scrapping type for. That's what you got that for.
That's what he is. That's the mentality of Lyndon. He turned up for one training session with his ankle hanging off, and after 10 minutes, he said, "Lyndon, you have to go back to your club because you're not fit."
Yeah, I just love playing for the
He loves
country.
playing for the country. I know he does. And that's the kind of spirit that we've got right through the whole squad, and maybe that's why we're at another major tournament.
Disappointment for the two guys, but a moment to give Craig Gordon his 75th cap and a bit of a send-off certainly for this current period here at Hampden tonight.
Yeah, it's one of the things, you never know what's going to happen in football, and Craig's obviously sitting on 74 caps and he's been in the squad in March, didn't get time on the pitch, he's been in the squad. I just felt that tonight with over 40,000 people in the stadium, it was a fitting moment to give him cap 75, because you never know what's going to happen in football. You don't know who the next head coach is going to be. Maybe I'm not here, maybe somebody's got another idea, maybe somebody turns up, maybe something happens to Craig. It would just have been wrong, I think, on the back of the disappointment of not going to the Euros, not to give him that 75th cap.